Earlier in the implementation of FDNS, not being a law enforcement agency, not a lot of departments and law enforcement agencies or intelligence wanted to really talk to a non-law enforcement or intelligence entity. But over the course of a few years, working with, and I'll use this as an example, the FBI, what we were able to do is demonstrate how essential it is that you consult CIS and you get as much as the information as you can on potential threats. We worked very assertively and creatively with various agencies, and the FBI, of course, being the biggest, to the point that I think they recognized the value so much that over a period of a few years, we were welcomed and asked to be formal members of Joint Terrorism Task Force that exist in most of your cities throughout the United States, and FDNS officers and the National JTTF and other strategic locations. Another sample or example of success is I was approached by an FBI agent asking if we could possibly vet this list of names against our databases to determine whether we had any information. And it was part of a national security investigation. And of course I said, sure, we can do that, but do you have any additional information, perhaps addresses, so we can identify some concerns you might have there, links and associations to known terrorists. And the response that I got was basically, you can do that? And we do have a growing capability of what we can do with the information that we have. And with today's advanced analytics technology, we have a much broader search capability. And in working with the FBI, and not just on this particular case, but on literally hundreds of cases, we've been able to identify links to known and suspected terrorists as well as major support activities. And individuals that you would not, without having that capability, you would never have had the capability to associate them. You know, how do you measure in terms of dollars the integrity of your legal immigration system and the potential threat to national security? And I had someone very senior level ask me once when we were developing the background check policies and procedures and trying to determine, well, what is the acceptable level of risk? And I would say, well, I defer to either the Secretary or the President or Congress, I guess, to tell me what is an acceptable level of terrorist activities, because we can't do that. One is too many, because one is not just one person. So we really can't look at risk that way when it comes to national security. And what we've learned since 9/11, especially the 9/11 Commission, is our system was, and I know for a fact from just the background checks we get and the vetting of these national security cases and working closely with the law enforcement intelligence community, they continue to manipulate our system to do us harm. So it's one of the great tools that's become available in the last several years is technology. And I would say that technology is going to be the foundation of our success from a anti-fraud and national security perspective. Absolutely essential. So I think, and I'm just citing the FBI as an example because that I think has been the most success that we've had, and that is absolutely essential in identifying threats and vetting threats, and probably the results being more of clearing individuals who had records that really weren't a threat. So now we have FDNS officers working with agencies, especially the FBI, especially their Joint Terrorist Task Force, and it really helps us facilitate the processes and helps them tremendously as well. And has also resulted in the identification of terrorists that would not have otherwise been identified, or perhaps as quickly. So that's the biggest success story there. But we're in a number of agencies too. And we also have FDNS officers, and we support the State Department's Fraud Prevention Program, Interpol, which has been another tremendous success story, as well as with various components within ICE.